All right, everybody, welcome back to the Chopshop Network and Space Case, the space opera stream slash podcast. I am Charlie Chopshop, your game master, and thank you so much for joining me again today for another episode. This is episode 7. I can't believe it. I feel like we've only played 3 times, although I know we've gotten like pretty deep into the story. So yeah, episode 7, and as usual, I'm joined by the amazing, astounding cast of Space Case. How are you doing, Space Case? Cast today?
Good.
As a tongue twister.
Excellent.
I'm so glad to have you guys back. It's been a few weeks. I was like, hey, let's take a few weeks while I like really plan something good for you. And I didn't plan anything. Didn't do a single lick of work. So we're right on course to have a great stream. But yeah.
Well, you were just moving, right? Like you just moved. So.
That's true, yeah. I had just moved. And we were trying to jumpstart some other shows too. And things like that. But we're here now. We're settled in. There's no excuses anymore. So we're back. And yeah, Rara and I were just talking about how we both badly need a refresher from what happened last time. So let's talk about where we left everyone off. I kind of remember the basic situation we left most people off in. So if I recall, Octavia, the android woman you've been traveling with, this like general for this robot splinter kind of group, she wanted Karate, I think, to help her break into the upstairs suites. She was trying to get to her former friend, who was like a hacker guy. And I forgot what his original hacker name was, but I know they call him Eddie now. I think it was Nova. What they originally called him. Is that right? Anyone remember?
I'm pretty sure it was Nova.
And so, come to find out, he goes by Eddie now, and he works for Vlad, the guy that owns this asteroid-based casino you're in. So she was like, Karate, you wanted to rescue Aurora, I think, the stripper girl, the psionic stripper. Yeah. You discovered that she was probably victim of some kind of human trafficking thing going on, or what these people were trying to kidnap her and take her away. You're not kind of fully sure of the situation, but obviously she needs something bad is going to happen from either side, unless like you swoop in. So Octavia agreed to help you if you help her break into the upstairs part of the base. And she was kind of like, okay, and you said yes, if I recall. And
yeah.
She was like, I'm going to go to the ship, and I'll be back. Like, wait here. Like, I got to go get some supplies. And so, Guy, we left you in the hold. You were in, like, the casino prison jail.
I've seen some things.
And yeah, so you went there because you had faked a heart attack to get behind the scenes, to get in the VIP area originally, right?
Yeah, I faked a heart attack to acquire a piece of, I think it was a VIP pass, and then things didn't go too well for me because then I tried to disguise myself as a janitor, and it was like an old uniform, and then I got thrown in prison.
Yeah, it was a uniform for a company that used to operate here that no longer does, and they called you out pretty quick and were like, no, you obviously are lying, and they took you to jail. And the prison was kind of like this, like just a bunch of cages in like a warehouse room somewhere in the back of this place. So that's not great either. But you were in there. There was other people in there with you when we left off. Jupiter had made it upstairs already through his waitress friend.
Yeah, I am in Eddie's apartment.
Yeah, you're in Eddie or Nova's apartment. Your waitress friend was named Sal, right?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, they had her and Eddie had ridiculous loud sex in the other room, and then Vlad came up, and a baby was like talking behind me a little bit just now.
That's so cute. That's staying in the podcast because it's too cute.
Yeah, so they had Vlad had come up. He beat up both Sal and Eddie a little bit, and then left. And then Eddie and I kind of made a deal where if I helped Eddie take care of Vlad, Eddie would help me call my home planet.
Right. So this whole time you've just been trying to make a call to your uncle, right?
Yep.
Who's back on Kanos. He's like a warlord there. He's like pretty high up, and you're just trying to like redeem yourself in his eyes and call him. And in that, you got mixed up with Eddie. Now you're like in this weird love triangle thing where Eddie's girlfriend is this waitress Sal, but also it's like Vlad's main girl. Vlad thinks he has some sort of actual ownership over her, seemingly, and obviously Eddie and her don't fucking agree with that very well. And yeah, he dragged her out, as I recall. But Eddie was like, "I'll let you make the call right now, but you have to help me get some revenge." And you had agreed to that, I believe. And Hikari, I think you were with Karate, right, in the VIP area, and then
Yeah.
I think we ran into each other in there, right?
Yeah, I was coming down from Vlad's office into the VIP to check out the room and try and find everyone else. And I saw her um, gazing lovingly at the stripper lady. And we sort of hung out for a little bit. And yeah, I got really drunk and went to check out the room.
You did? Okay, yeah. So did you part ways before you left? And you kept trying to text everyone, but no one was getting back to you. So you're just like, kind of like, God damn it, what the hell's happening here?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, go. No, you go ahead.
No. It was just I was just gonna say that he was a bit frustrated about everyone's lack of communication.
Yeah,
I should say.
Understandably. All right, cool. Yeah, I think that pretty much catches us up. So yeah, we were in this asteroid casino. Everyone kind of went their different ways, and yeah, let's maybe jump in to the game with the phone call. Jupiter. So up in Eddie's suite, built into the cliffs of the asteroid in the biosphere above this underground casino. You're hanging out in this suite. You know, Eddie's suite is just like littered with food garbage and drug garbage and your nasty bean slop. And so after he kind of vowed to you, you know, that like, I'm gonna get revenge and you're gonna help me, and you agreed, he went into the back room where these girls had been cooking this drug. And he just starts screaming at all of them. He's like, "Hey, you fucking get out of here! We're not doing this no more!" And he like chases these like half naked women in like respirator masks out of this back room. And you hear him like yelling from the door. He's like, Jupiter, come back here!"
I'm gonna go back there to him.
All right, so you walk up to the door's like looming open, you know, and it's like dark in this room except for some blue glowing lights from some lab equipment. But you can see they have like a makeshift lab set up in here with like racks and of trays, you know, cookie sheet type trays, and all these racks, kind of like little refrigerators built into countertops, and some weird like different, you know, instruments, scientific instruments lining the table. And he has like trays of this substance, right? And he's just like dumping it all into like, they have like a little mop sink like built into the floor on one end, and he's just like pulling all these trays out of this rack, and like you can hear him banging around in there, and he like takes the whole rack as you walk in and just like tips a rack, and this like blue substance like falls out of it like into the mop sink. It's like kind of in sheets, but as it falls it breaks like glass, you know what I mean, into like a fine powder. And he's just like trashing all the drugs. He's like, "I need your help." He's like, "That one's too heavy," and he points at like another big rack on the other side of the room. And it's like built into this kind of piece of equipment. He's like, "That's the one that they make the respirators out of. I need your help to break it." He's like, "If you do this, I'll make the call right now. Just throw it on the floor." And he like keeps like just spilling like, you know, crashing metal racks like onto the floor of these drugs.
Jupiter's gonna walk over to what he, you know, the rack that Eddie's talking about, and just pick it up over his head really high, which is probably touching the ceiling, and just smash the entire thing on the ground as hard as possible.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't think you need to make a check to destroy it. You just like completely, you know, obliterate this thing. And like Eddie like sweating like on his knees, like washing all this shit down the mop drain, you know, in the corner, like breathing super hard. He's obviously like working hard at this. Like he finally like washes it all down. He just kind of sits there on his knees for a second, like wipes his hands across his face, like with a little bit of relief. And he turns back to you, and like looks over his shoulder, you know, and you're kind of standing like in the door. And this whole room's pretty dark too. And like from the darkness, he's like, "All right, you ready to make that phone call?"
"Yes, sir."
"Okay, kid, right this way." And he like leads you over to his little desk where he's got like a big computer terminal with all these AR displays kind of displaying in the air in front of it. And he starts touching the AR buttons, and he pulls up a phone. And he's like, "Here you go. Unrestricted. It really only took me 5 seconds. I've been making unrestricted calls for a while. Vlad can't really know what I got going on up here. Well, I guess it doesn't matter now, but... Anyway, you know the number. Type it in.
So I've got a number written on the inside of my jacket, on like a sewn on piece of white cloth.
Sewn into the back of your jacket? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like looking at that and typing at the same time. It takes me a couple tries. I hit the wrong buttons, because I can hit 2 or 3 buttons at once with the finger. But eventually I get the right number.
Okay. What was your uncle's name again?
I think it was just like General Dangle or something.
I thought it was like Cassius or something like that.
That could be. I don't remember.
We've mentioned it before. But anyway, so yeah, his phone rings for a while, right? And just when you think he's not going to answer, like, boop, boop, like the phone picks up and it like builds a little AR hologram of just his head and shoulders. And he kind of like looks into it and he's like, "Hello? Officer Dangle, who's calling my private line? Who's there? I can't see your cam."
I kind of look over my shoulder to see if Eddie's still in the room with me.
Yeah, he's like leaned back on the wall, like right behind you, like arms crossed, kind of watching what you're doing. Definitely close enough to hear.
So I kind of whimper out, Uncle Cassius, it's Jupiter.
Jupiter? What the hell are you calling me for?
I just wanted to let you know I met some nice friends, and I'm with some nice people with the android people that have that big planet,
Free Home? What do you know about the Free Alliance?
Yeah, the Free Alliance, Uncle Cassius. Those are my new friends, and I kind of, put a little emphasis on friends.
He like the line goes silent for a minute. He kind of pauses, and you hear him like shuffle around on the other end, and he's like, "All right, go on," like kind of quiet and serious.
So I made these new friends, and they found we found this guy in a case. He's really, really, really old. I think maybe older than the big thingy that wiped everything out.
You hear him like cover the phone and talk to someone else behind him, and you just kind of barely make him out, being like, "Shit, it sounds like they've got the relic." And he comes back and he's like, "Jupiter, that's very good. That's very good. Call me when you can be alone."
Well, so I just wanted you to know too that I'm gonna go with my new friends to their homeworld, and we're gonna meet their human leader. Yeah, my new friend said we would meet their leader, who I think might be human, and I just wanted to let you know where I was gonna be, so that when I called you, you could come pick me up, so that I have a ride home.
You know I'm not supposed to do that.
Well, I thought maybe it might be really nice of me to let you know where I am, so you didn't worry, and I can keep letting you know where I am, so that you don't worry if you want me to.
Jupiter, what you did here is good, but you know I can't come pick you up, right?
Well, maybe if I call you again, so you can get the exact address of where I am, maybe then you can come pick me up.
No promise.
And Jupiter's kind of peeking over his shoulder a little bit at Eddie as he's saying stuff like that.
Eddie's just looking at you like, what the fuck is going on here? He looks so confused, like, just like, what the hell is, like, am I witnessing? Your uncle is like, no promises. Make sure you make the call. I'll keep my line open. And then, like, it just goes click.
After the line goes click, Jupiter still says, "I love you, Uncle Cassius."
Eddie, like,
hello.
Eddie, like, looks down, at the computer, like, leans over you and hits the keyboard, and he's like, "Yeah, what the fuck was that?"
I just my uncle Cassius.
I'm not
You
fucking.
know, he's not feeling too well.
I'm not stupid. You working for Canos?
No, that's my uncle. He really is my uncle.
Kid,
They sent me away because I'm not good at fighting.
Mm-hmm. So why you feeding him information? I'm not stupid.
I'm not feeding him information. I was just telling him where I was.
Mm-hmm.
I made some new friends. You can talk to my other friends. Do you want to meet them? There's a karate lady and a really old man and a video game guy.
He's like, well, I'll tell you this, if your friends plan on being downstairs in about an hour, I'd tell him to get the hell out of there. You and I got work to do. And he's like, now, have you ever used plastic explosives? And he like hands you like a pack of like something.
I may have seen these before when I was training on Kanos, but I didn't do very well. I went through a few drill instructors before I got it right.
He's like, well, we're going to use this to make a distraction. That's going to help me get up into Vlad's office. Understand?
I think I can do that. Maybe.
What'd you have in mind?
Well, I mean, when I've used plastic explosives like this before, I just kind of tripped and a bunch fell about 30 or 40 yards in front of me and went off in a few random spots. That's how I accidentally killed a few drill instructors.
He's like, you need to be careful about this. You could send this whole place up. We're pressurized. Do you not know that?
I mean, those doors look pretty thick. Do you think they would stop the pressurized from getting out?
Not if you blow a hole through the entire structure. He's like, that's enough to take this entire place up. He's like, you're just going to use a little bit. I was thinking maybe the mining tram outside, but then you got to get a vac suit. I thought maybe you had a better idea.
I mean, I can put some of these silly putty things on the tram if you want.
Sorry. He's like, yeah, that's exactly what I want. That sounds real good. Now, I know they got a couple emergency vac suits in the med bay downstairs. If you can get back behind the authorized security door, here, I'll give you my pass. Just don't let anybody see it. If they try and look at it, you run. And he like gives you a little laminate pass with a fob on it. He's like, this will get you in the authorized door. Go back there to the med bay. There's a couple vac suits in there. If you go outside the biosphere, you can find the tram. It's about 500 paces west of the bubble. You probably saw it as you came in. Make sure the tram goes offline. It's bringing back all of this metamilk they're using for the Unicron. You think you can do that?
Okay. I can try.
He's like, here, let me give you my number. And he like flicks the little AR display from his watch towards you. And like, you know, you have a compad, yeah?
Yeah.
Your compad like boop, 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 like lights up in your pocket. Do you check it?
Yeah, I pull it out of my pocket and I ignore the 15 missed phone calls from Hikari.
You see a bunch of missed phone calls from
I just
Hikari
click on
and a bunch of missed texts, but then you see like he's like, you know, sent you his information with like a near field communication. And he's like, keep your phone handy. I'll be hitting you up on comms when I need you to trigger it, okay? When I'm in place.
Okay.
It's gonna take some doing. I don't go downstairs much. It might alarm some people. I'm gonna have to talk to a lot of folks to get into place, so you just be patient. You make sure you get that vac suit, okay?
All right, sir. I know a guy, my friend Guy. I know a guy who he has to go to the med center a lot. He has a heart issue.
He's like, well, that's very nice for your friend or whatever, but I need to get dressed. And he's like kicking off his boots and like walking back toward his room and into the bedroom and like pulling like different Hawaiian style shirts out of his closet to like try them on.
Does he look like Dennis? Like Dennis from oh my god, from Jurassic Park? I imagine he looks like Newman The guy who played Newman.
Kind of. I imagine he looks like Boris from Goldeneye.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that too.
But maybe chubbier. Yeah, with the clicking of the pen and and just kind of like pointy faced with pock marks and like curly, greasy hair and yeah, a lot of Acapulco shirts. He's like, all right, let yourself out. Go get about your business. I'll be down in a minute. He's like, I gotta get dressed, and he like walks like clatters back through all the junk in his room into his like master bath, out of sight.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna, go out the door and travel back down to the club then.
Okay, as you head down like the hallway to the elevator to go back downstairs, we will cut over to Guy. So Guy, you've been in prison for about 2 hours now, and all you know, you've overheard the two people next to you talking. One of them is named Scooter, and one of them is named Maggie, and they've been arguing about who was the one that took the last hit of Unicron that the guards saw and like came over and stopped them. They got them thrown in jail.
And you said Guy's been there for 2 hours?
Yeah, probably like an hour or two now, I'd assume.
Guy has attempted to rip the sleeves off of his jumpsuit and tie them around his head like a headband.
All right, Guy's wearing a sweet headband of like denim jumpsuit material.
Yeah, Guy like thinks he like Guy's whole like logic of like be the toughest guy in the yard. He is absolutely embracing that, just not like approaching anybody.
All right, I like it.
So he sees, you said Scooter and Maggie?
Yeah, they're like cages touch your cage, right? Like Scooter's next to you and Maggie's on the other side of him, and they've just been like having like a crackheaded argument about like whose fault it was that the guards saw them, smoking Unicron.
So Guy kind of approaches them. Are they in the same cage? Or are they like, oh, you said one's on top, one's to the left?
Scooter's like right next to you, and she's like on the other side of him. There is like cages layered up as well, but they seem to mostly be empty.
All right. Guy kind of like approaches the cage closest to him. Is like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, why you guys are fighting? We shouldn't be fighting. We should all be a team right now.
He like turns and looks over to like his cage wall that you share with him, and like squints at you in the darkness, like through the bars. He's like, oh, he finally speaks up. Well, you ever smoke Unicron, kid? You know what it's like to fly?
Guy's like, well, I don't put any dangerous chemicals in my body, but I was just in a spaceship and I did fly through space, so I know what flying is like.
The woman on the other side starts like cracking up. She's like, ah, he ain't a kid. He's an old man, Scooter. He's an old man. Just like cracking up at you.
Guy kind of like winks and is like, yeah, I'm a little bit older than you are, and like maybe tries to like touch Scooter through, but he's like very cautious about touching Scooter.
Scooter like slowly slides over towards you and like reaches his like quivering hand out until his fingers just like barely touch your fingers. And he's like, oh, you are old. He's like, I can see it now that I'm close. He's like, you okay, old man?
Guy's like, yeah, I'm good. My friends are gonna come break me out, and maybe, if you guys can help us, they can break us out too, because my friends are cool and they're strong and they can do all sorts of cool stuff, and I'm pretty sure they've all killed people.
Well, they better be cool and have killed people. If they're gonna break you out of here, they're gonna have to kill some more. And then the woman, Maggie's like, yeah, I hope your friends come before the gods make us fight again. And Scooter's like, yeah, that's how we lost Denny. He didn't make it through the last round of fights.
What do we fight with?
Well, mostly each other. But
do they give us weapons or anything?
No, not really. Sometimes they throw one of the iron worms that lives in the core of the asteroid in there too. They can gnaw through your arm like it's a piece of balsa wood.
Guy kind of starts to like get nervous, but he kind of like starts to get like tough, and he's like, well, I bet that if we just don't fight and we stand there and we all work together, we can get out of here.
Maggie's like, that'll never work. And Scooter's like, shut the fuck up, bitch. I'll do it. If it's me versus you, we just won't fight, okay?
And Guy kind of thumbs up and he's like, Maggie,
She's
I
like,
know that you're afraid, but we can do this. We can work together. Teamwork
why don't you
makes that dream work.
why don't you do a talk check? Because Maggie's more on the fence. You do talk charisma or talk intelligence.
Yeah, I actually have to pull up my roll 20. Sorry, give me one sec.
No worries. You want me to roll it for you real fast?
Yeah, I'd appreciate that.
So what's your higher score? Looks like your charisma's pretty good. Talk charisma.
Let's do it.
You rolled a 5. And she's like, ain't no way. I'm gonna win this time and they're gonna let me out of here.
All right, that's totally fine. And, you can have your opinion, and that's okay.
She's like, I'm not gonna be like Denny. I'm gonna be like Buzz. He's free now. He only had he only had to bite Denny's ear off and, jab his eyes out, but he's free. He's free now. She like hacks in her cage after that. She's like,
real quick, Guy looks around. Are the cages like 100% steel? Like, or metal or whatever?
yeah, they're like metal bars. Yeah, there's no wood.
There's no dirt or anything that like I could move or anything like that.
There's like the floor is like filthy. There's like built up dust and some dirt and grime from like asteroid mining processes that have happened over time.
But I couldn't dig through it. Like I couldn't like cartoonishly dig a hole.
No. You think that you could maybe try and bend the bars? Like some of the bars are pretty flimsy and just like welded to, just like scrap metal they found welded together. They vary in sizes and stuff like that.
I think literally anyone else on our team could bend the bars. I don't know if Guy has the ability to do that. You know what? I'll try though. Guy, I'll have Guy look for maybe a weak bar.
Okay, sure.
And he'll try and just, even if it's connected to Scooter's cage, because you know what? No, he's specifically gonna look for one connected to Scooter's cage.
Okay.
That way that they can work together and he can start breaking everyone out.
Awesome. So as far as finding a loose bar, why don't you do a notice check? Notice, I don't know. I think you could do notice wisdom or intelligence, like because you probably or even I feel like I could let you make a work check. Work intelligence. If you know anything, do you think Guy would know anything about like welding? I feel like he would, working on spaceships.
Oh, 100%. I 100% feel like Guy would know something about welding.
Yes.
Like some of these other stuff that we've had Guy like check out, I don't think he really would like that well, but I 100% think welding would be something he'd have knowledge of.
Okay, why don't you make a work intelligence check for me?
It's pulling up. Give me 1 sec.
No worries. Take your time. Sorry, I closed your sheet too. I should have left it open. A 6. A 6 is a failure. I'm going to say a failure with a positive, though.
All right.
So you like kind of look among the bars and you do notice one that is broken or like welded poorly at the top. You think you could probably definitely break away. However, this particular bar was like a thick round piece of rebar, and whoever installed it in the cage maybe realized they couldn't weld it so well. They sharpened like every edge of the blade, right? So it's like sharp on 4 corners. It's going to be hard for you to kick or push it without taking some slicing from it as well.
Well, could I use the headband that I made to wrap around my hand?
Yeah, I don't see why not. You could try and improvise. Yeah. So
yeah, 100%.
So
that's what I'm going to try and do.
Wrap your hand up real good and try and bust it out of there. All right. Yeah, I like that. Why don't you make I will let you make your call. Punch or exert. Probably exert strength.
I'm going to do an exert.
I'll give you a +1 though for your modifier for wrapping your hands.
You said exert strength and then a +1?
And then you can add a +1 as your modifier. Yep. Ooh, a 12. There you go. Yeah, guy, you like kind of look up at it, like test it, and then just like one solid like pop it out of place. It's not even that loud. Like the metal rings out a little bit, and the guard at the other side of the room is like, "Hey, quiet down over there!" But like he doesn't get up and come to check it out.
Guy instantly like does like the shush motion to Scooter. Like he instantly is like shh shh shh. Shh.
Scooter does like a, "Oh my god" face to you, like in silence, and he's like real quiet. He's like, "How did you do that? That was amazing."
And Guy's like, I just pretended that I was my friend Jupiter. And he kind of like smiles to himself, and he's like, Jupiter could get me out of this.
He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, wait. You're not trying to come in here to touch me or rape me or something, are you?"
Guy's instantly like, whoa, whoa, nobody, no, 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 no.
He like
Just no, no, no.
gets
Guys,
fisticuffs up for a second, and he kind of drops him. He's like, "Okay, what are you?"
two is better than one. Like we can work together, and then we can get Maggie out, and then the three of us can all get out together.
I like what you're thinking here. Maggie, get the fuck up. Help us break one of these bars. And he like walks over to the wall between his cage and Maggie's cage now. And he starts like looking at all the bars. He's like, "How did you do that? How'd you know which one to break?"
You look for the weak ones.
All right, so
And then
you want to like
no,
enter his.
continue.
I was gonna ask you, gonna like enter his cage and so on.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm gonna like approach him. Like I'm not afraid of Scooter at this point. Like
Okay.
I feel like Scooter is trustworthy enough. I approach him and I'm looking for a bar.
So you like squeeze through the bars into his cage, and like now you're like showing him like where the weak welds are as you're trying to pick out another bar, and Maggie's like incredulously waiting. And that I think is where we'll jump to Karate. Karate, you are sitting in the strip club still. It's been since like Hikari left you. It's been like an hour. So you've been like just drinking, or did you go back to gambling, or? Oh, can't hear you. You muted maybe?
Push talk.
Oh, I heard you for a second, then it went away. Still. Give us 1 second, guys. No worries, Rara. Give us one moment.
No.
Do you want push to talk, maybe? This actually, we've been going for a little bit too, guys. So I'll just pop over to Be Right Back screen just real quick, and we will be right back. So hang out. All right, everybody, we are back. Thanks so much for waiting. So we're jumping over to Karate, and yeah, when we left Karate off, she was watching the stripper Aurora, and waiting for Octavia to possibly return. Hikari dipped out, like went back to his room, maybe an hour ago, or so. What have you been doing since then, and like where do we find you now?
I think I'm like still struggling it out at the blackjack table.
Okay. Well, you want to make one more check to see if you win a game?
Yeah.
I think
Is that a?
I don't know. Let me see. I'm not sure what I'd have. I don't remember what I had you guys make the
I
previous.
think it might be perform.
You could argue perform. I think like for bluffing or whatever else. I guess you don't bluff as much in blackjack, but yeah, sure. You can do perform, intelligence, or I don't know. I think you could argue a lot of things. I think a connect check, charisma could also go really well at the blackjack table. So I'm gonna say perform intelligence or connect charisma.
Just do perform intelligence.
Okay, sure. A 7, yeah. So you finally win like the whole table. Like everyone is wowed by your skills. You just got like a lucky hand. You drew like a blackjack right off the bat. You know what I mean? And you win 70 credits if you want to track that.
Sweet.
And I believe you accomplished one of your goals.
Oh, I did. Yes, I did. One of my goals was to win a blackjack game.
Okay, so do you notice as you're at the blackjack tables in the casino, do you notice when Octavia comes storming back in from like the big kind of industrial elevator that leads down into here, like the main entrance?
I feel like I'm like a little bit distracted at first, but I kind of see her out of the corner of my eye. Yeah.
Yeah, you see her like looking over like the whole crowd for you, but she doesn't notice you yet. Also, you notice now that she has a black trench coat on over her garb that she was not wearing before.
Okay, I take all my winnings and I exit the table and I like kind of go over to meet her.
Okay, she sees you like approaching, and she's like, there you are. Are you ready for this?
I was born ready. And I guess I just like shove everything in my pockets or my pack.
Okay. She's like, follow me to the ladies' room. Okay. And she like, you know, with that her stern way, she's that kind of short black pixie cut and super stern face, like briskly walks to a ladies' room nearby. And you follow her in, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm kind of like joshing around with her, just like, ooh, I didn't know you partied.
And she's like, it's not like that. I'm not some little Unicron head, okay? But she like you kind of like get a little giggle out of her. And she, as you know, you joke about it, and she leads you back in there. She takes you like into the bathroom, and you both like dip into one of the stalls. Like other women are coming and going. You like narrowly miss the CEO's wife that you had talked to before. You like, I think like probably block your face, you know, as you walk past her in line. And she like pulls you into a bathroom, and she like opens up her trench coat and like pulls a book bag out from underneath it. Her trench coat is just like lined with pulse grenades. And inside of the bag, she's got a bunch of pistols. She's got like 4 laser pistols.
And she's like, holy shit. Okay, I think like I'm glad that you came prepared. And I just like grab a pistol, grab a couple pulse grenades.
And she's like, just in case. She's like, I also got this. And she hands you a cred stick. And she's like, this chip has 500 creds on it, but it's only to be used to bribe. Do you understand that? I need it back if we don't use it.
Totally. Scout's honor. Got it.
She's like, good. But if you need to use it to get us in, that's fine too. We'll see once we get to the front desk. Maybe they'll just let us walk right past. You never know. And she's like, anyway, these 2 are for you. And she hands you 2 of the pistols.
Sweet. I guess I kind of like tuck them into my back pocket or something because I don't really have holsters for them. I guess on both sides where they're handy.
All right. Yeah. She's like, all right, are you ready? Let's go. I think to start, we'll just go up there and just tell them we're trying to visit Eddie, that we're old friends of Eddie. If that doesn't work, then we go from there.
Yeah, that's a good plan. How about you let me do the talking? I feel like I could probably bullshit with them a little bit easier.
She's like, you're the human. That's fine.
I guess I go ahead and like follow her out of the bathroom, right?
Yeah, so yeah,
Let her lead the way.
yeah, she'll lead you like back through the casino, into the big industrial elevator. You know that this thing could probably hold like 3 cars on it, and it like raises you up. And when it gets to the top, there's just a little door, and it lets you out into this big, beautiful desert biosphere. And you can see through the glass of the biosphere, you know, like space and just like the raging surface of this meteor or asteroid that you're on beyond this like sandy red surface with winds kind of whipping all around. And yeah, you walk out, and so as you come out of the elevator, you kind of come out from like, you know, back in one corner of where it meets the cliff, because it's really like a half circle. It meets like a cliff, right, like this. So along the cliff here, you kind of come out, and you can see down like further down the cliff is kind of the concierge desk, and there's 2 of the guys in kind of like the sailor or like naval type uniforms behind there. And then beyond that, like further on the other side of the biosphere, you can see in the cliff wall another smaller door, an elevator with 2 armed guards standing outside of it, wearing the you know, the logo of the security company you've seen all around here.
Okay, so we're heading towards the door, right?
Yeah, and now I think it's like, I'm pretty sure it's pretty late at night at this point. I don't remember where we were in the day, but yeah, I think it's like pretty late at night. There's no real other like guests coming in from the main entrance right now. Like the rest of the biosphere is pretty empty, except for just these 2 concierge guys, and then like a man and a woman armed guard by the door.
All right. I kind of like turn to her and I just kind of like psych her up and like follow my lead, and then I like toss my shoulders back and I start like striding confidently towards the door.
Okay. So you're just gonna walk right past the concierge desk, like to the.
I was gonna try to walk right past them.
Okay. So as you walk up, you know, you kind of start to walk past these 2 guards. One guard puts his hand up and like stops you on your shoulder. And he's like, "I need to see your credentials, ma'am."
I kind of like look at him like a little bit affronted, and then I kind of like put a look on my face like, "Don't I know you?" I'm like, "Hey, you don't remember me?"
He like starts like scratching his head, seeming like a little embarrassed, you know, that he can't remember you possibly.
You remember Asta? Oh, you remember this? This is a couple of seasons ago. I can't believe I'm meeting you here. That's so weird. That's so weird. When did you start this gig?
So why don't you roll your call? I'm gonna say a performance or a talk check, and I think definitely charisma based.
Right. I think I'll do a talk.
Okay. I love this. This is the best way to lie yourself through a door, because everyone feels stupid when they don't remember someone like they used to know.
Did that work, or do I have to do it again?
Yeah, it did. You rolled a 10 as well, so it's like very successful.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, Asta, was it? I'm so sorry, ma'am. He's like, I used to...
I can't believe you forgot those cocktails with the umbrellas.
He's like,
oh my
yeah,
god, that was great. That was great.
Guilty.
That was great. You're great, dude. You're great.
Guilty. Yeah, I used to drink a lot of Metamilk.
Yeah. We're like really late for this thing though. And I'm gonna catch up with you afterwards. You want to catch a drink afterwards?
He's like, come back and find me. What was your name again?
Yeah.
No,
okay, my name's Kay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's so
weird.
Yeah,
okay.
You're like on the tip of my memory.
I can't, and I like turned to Octavian. I'm like, I can't believe this guy. Oh, I'm gonna tell you all about him, and then we're gonna party with him later. So then I just like grab her and like start strolling by him.
You walk like right past him, and he like turns to the other female guard next to him. He's like, "See, I told you." He's like, "We used to get fucking crazy." Like, and you know, you like walk past him up the staircase, like that kind of heads deeper back, you know, cut into the cliffs of the asteroid now. So you kind of walk through these cut tunnels until you get to like a nicer, more like hotel style elevator. And you know, Octavia clicks the button and she's like, "That was impressive. I will never understand how humans could do that." She's like, "I just don't get it. I can remember every moment that's ever happened to me. That guy's a fucking idiot." And you know, the elevator.
Well, you don't have the benefit of memory loss from alcohol consumption, so don't worry about it.
Sometimes I wish I did.
Human thing.
Yeah, I guess. Like the elevator dings and opens up, and as the elevator door comes down, like ding, and slides open, there's 2 more guards with guns standing in there, and they both are just like looking at you, confused as to why you would be here. And the first one like holds the door open, and the other one like steps up to the middle of the door, and he's like, "We weren't expecting anyone. They didn't radio anyone up. Can I see your credentials, please?"
Don't worry about my credentials, buddy. I have way higher security clearance than you. I guess this is time for another check, right?
Well, he like radios on his radio on his like shoulder, and he's like, "Greg, what the hell? Why didn't you tell me someone else was coming up?" And like you hear the guy, he's like, "Psh, no, she's good. Psh, like I know her." Like over the radio, "She's all right. Let her on up." And he's like, "I don't know." He's like, "Did you show Greg your credentials?" He's like, "Let me see what your papers."
You know, Greg and I go way back, so like you just like when Greg says I'm cool, right? Like
He's like, "Yeah."
Listen, we are late for a really important meeting, and if my boss finds out it's because some 2 low-level chuckleheads are holding me up, you're gonna be in so much trouble.
He's like, "Who's your boss?"
You know who it is. You know who my boss is.
And he's like, "Oh, you're here with you're here with the Cervantes party. Yeah,
Bingo.
I'll let you right up. No worries." And
Thank you, young man. Thank you.
He like steps back out of the door of the elevator and like lets you in, right? And then as like the lift starts going up, do you have your Canosian Steelworkers helmet on your belt still? Or no?
Probably not, no. I want to say that probably I took it off.
So like Octavia and you get in. Octavia stands like, you turn and put your backs to them who are behind you. She's just like so stiff. She doesn't know how the fuck to act at all. And like you're just being so casual about this. And the guard's like, "I'm so sorry." And like he steps back and lets you in. And you guys go up to the top. And just as the elevator like ding opens up, Jupiter is standing at the top in the hallway. Like waiting for the elevator, like right in front of the elevator door.
As soon as the door opens, I'm gonna lift up my hand and go, "Hello," and look at everybody.
I'm like taken for like thoughts are going crazy. And then I'm just like try to recover real quickly, like, hey, what's up, man? Good to see you. Yeah, so I'll catch up with you downstairs, right? Kind of like give Jupiter like a look, like, man.
Right?
I'm going to so these was it 4 people are trying to get off the elevator where I'm trying to get on?
No, there's just 2 guards that like permanently occupy the elevator at nighttime. They're not trying to get on or off, but there are 4 people in the elevator.
All right, so those 2 are trying to get off and I'm trying to get on.
Yes.
All right, I am going to plow into Karate and what's her name? Like they're trying to get off, but I'm not getting out of the way to let them off. I'm going to do that like asshole subway thing where I like plow through them.
Okay.
While they're trying to get off.
So you like kind of push them back because you're like as wide as the door of this thing almost, You like force them back in and like knock kind of in between the 2 of them.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna make them go around me. Like they have to back up, go into the empty space, and then squeeze around me.
Okay. So as you squeeze around them, do you say anything else, or do you say anything to them?
Oh, are you talking to me or
either of you?
I said hello, and I just boom.
Do you respond to that in any way? Octavia's like, "Fucking excuse you, are you not gonna stay up here and talk to us for a minute before you go down?" She like gives you the big eyes, like the "you fucking better" look.
I'm just like looking at Jupiter like, dude, get out of the just oh my god, like get out of the way, dude, like something has to happen here. So I try to like scoot past him through his like refrigerator body and like try to like get around him, and I'm like pulling Octavia around me. Yeah, we'll see you later. Meet you downstairs. tell Gus at the front desk I say what's up.
As like the doors slide shut, Octavia's like, "Call me," as she's like pulling you away, like, "Call me now," like all pissed off. And then the doors close, and then you're in the elevator alone with the guards. And now you 2 are alone in this upper penthouse hallway. And just down at the far end of the hallway is just one single door, which is. You're assuming Eddie's door to his place. And
Okay.
Octavia's like, whoa, that was fancy. I can't believe we didn't have to kill a single person. That was really good. She's like, I could take lessons, really.
Ooh, see, like sometimes violence isn't always the answer. So we gotta finesse our way through this. But maybe now's the time to get our weapons out.
Well, she like pulls a pistol out from her belt. She's like, what the fuck is going on with your friend down there? I want to wait for him before we bust in there. What's he doing up here?
I literally have no idea when he does anything and why.
Do you think he knows Eddie? How else would he have gotten up here?
Do I have time for like a slight role play before they go into Eddie's?
I mean, not really. The door closed unless you want to come back up. They were trying to, or at least Octavia was trying to tell you to get out of the elevator and wait so she could talk to you.
Well, like, so what I was thinking was as soon as I get into the elevator and like I want to push up between the two guards so they're on either side of me, not behind me.
Okay.
And then like, kind of very clumsily and obviously like pull out my compad and like type a quick message.
Okay. So you're typing into karate?
Yeah, Karate and Octavia.
I
just
see.
Be like,
Yeah, so you
talk to Eddie, have plan, stay out casino.
So you get this message you get a bloop, 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 and you open it up karate, and it says, talk to Eddie, have plan, stay out of casino. And Octavia's like,
Did it say talked or talk?
Talked to, right? Like spoke to
Yeah,
already.
I want to let them know that, like, talk to. Yeah, I talked to him.
Yeah, so it's like past tense, like he talked to them. And Octavia's like, what's it say? Is it your dumbass friend?
Yeah, he said he talked to Eddie already. We should just they have a plan and we should stay out of the casino. How does he know Eddie?
That's what I'm wondering. She's like, well, we're going to find out right now. And she pulls her second pistol out. And she's like, let's go. If I know Eddie, he keeps some serious ordnance hidden up here. So be careful. I don't know if this is the kind of thing where we just want to knock or let ourselves in.
I think we should probably let ourselves in. And so I take out one of my pistols and have like one hand on the door.
Okay.
And I guess Octavia is like bringing up the rear.
Yeah, she like stands
SWAT
back
style.
and like waits for you to like push the door open.
Yeah, so I like push the door open, like push it pretty hard, and then like go in the room, like point my gun in the room.
Okay.
I guess like I'm clearing the room basically.
So when you do that, you like knock it open. You see Eddie's like Malibu penthouse style, condo like spread out in front of you, but filthy, just covered. Like definitely like a hacker's, drug addict's den. You know what I mean? Someone who never sleeps and consumes garbage food and leaves their laundry everywhere. It's got like a stench as you come in. And, kind of asteroid light is bouncing from the sun outside through his like curtains in kind of a moody way across the room. And Eddie is like standing in the middle of the room with his back to you and like his skinny little ass in boxers, no pants on, and an Acapulco shirt. And he's got 3 different pairs of pants laid out across the couch. And he's like looking at them all as you bust the door open. And when you do, he like turns surprise, like, this look of surprise on his face. You literally caught him with his pants off. And he's like, what the hell are you doing here? And that's where we'll cut, and we'll cut back to you guys in a minute. So Hikari, you have been sleeping in your bunk, right? You went back to your bunk to sleep?
Yeah.
All right. So I think after you sleep for about an hour, you hear a knock at your door.
Okay. I take a few seconds to acknowledge what the knock is, and I get up, sort of wiping the eye boogers from my eyes, and open the door.
All right. It's your young, kind of effeminate, pink-haired friend from the club before, like wearing his long, like spacer jacket, and like he's just got like a cranked out look on his face, like he's kind of twitching, and he's like, "Hey, I thought I might find you here. You still want to buy that from me, or?" He's like just not stopping moving like the whole time he's talking to you.
Sure, yeah. I'll buy something from you. What's up? How much is it?
And he's like, well, he's like, hold on. He like clicks his little AR display, and you can see some numbers like flash across in front of his face for a second. And he's like, well, it's 10 for a tenth, but right now I can only sell everything I got. You wanted 4. I brought 4. That's what you said. You wanted 4, right?
Yeah. 4. So I guess there's 40 creds for the lot.
He's like, yeah, here you go. And he like drops them in your hand. This is like 4 little individual packets of like blue crystals.
Okay. And how do I administer this? I have to snort it?
Or you can smoke it if you're a real spacehead. He's like,
Well,
I got inhalers if you want instead. And he like shows you again the inhalers lining the inside of his jacket.
no, it's actually not for me, but thank you. And I like do the phone thing like Venmo. I tap my compad to his compad and I transfer 40 credits to
Right.
his thing.
Okay, cool.
And I'm like, thanks, man. I didn't actually get your name.
As soon as you start doing that, he like looks nervously down the hallway to his right, because you're in like a hallway of rooms, right, and suites. And he's like, "Oh shit!" And you can hear someone like about to come around the corner, and he like pushes on you, tries to push past you into your room.
Okay, I'll let him. Yeah.
Like he pushes past you into the room and like slams the door or tries to slam the door. Are you standing in the door? I guess he can't close it.
No, like I opened the door and I let him through, and then afterwards I close it, but I sort of peek my head around the corner to see who's coming.
Okay, yeah, you see this woman in like a decadent gown, big blonde Southern Belle style curls, and her husband in a tuxedo, like a big, wide set, burly guy with a shaved head. Now, I don't know if you had spoken with Karate earlier enough to be able to recognize this.
We spoke, but she didn't mention anyone from
Okay.
Cervantes.
They look important and rich, but you're not sure, like, why or how or who they are. And they kind of pass by you. And why don't you go ahead and make a notice wisdom check for me real quick?
All right.
A 9, yeah. So you also notice at the far end of the hall, just barely poking around the corner, trying to be inconspicuous, a man with white kind of features, kind of pale skin, and a black robe peering out, like just the edge of his hood peering around the corner. And he notices you noticing him, I think, too, and like ducks back and is gone. And you turn around, and the kid is like kind of like watching nervously over your shoulder. He's like, "What did you see? Did you see anything?"
I saw someone in robes and some rich folk,
Fuck.
but that's about it.
Black robes?
Yeah. Black robes, pale skin, sort of like a sickly pale.
Shit, they're on to me. God damn it. And he like starts like kicking the dirt and like hitting himself. And he's like, stupid fucking idiot. He's like, I'm never gonna be able to get Aurora out of here now. He's like, they're gonna catch me as soon as I leave here and take all my money.
So you're trying to get Aurora out of here too, right?
He's like, yeah. I love her.
Oh, that's nice. A crewmate of mine is actually trying to rescue her as well, but they seem to not want to. I guess I can't get a hold of them. Let's tell you what. I'll help you. I have nothing else going on right now, and I really don't feel like being cooped up in this small room anymore. So let's go, and if anything happens, I'll protect you.
How do I know I can trust you? I saw you coming out of Vlad's office. If he finds out I'm doing this, it'll never fly. He'll kill me.
Well, whether or not you can trust me, it's up to you. But I just want to say that this girl seems like she's in trouble, and you seem like an okay person, even though you deal drugs. Are you trying to do this afterwards, after you escape?
I mean, I never thought that far. I just want to be with her. I want to make sure she has a good life.
Okay. Let's see. I help you. We successfully get both of you off the asteroid, and you promise me that you'll stop selling drugs. How's that?
He kind of looks at you strangely, and like his bottom lip quivers, and you can tell he's kind of trying not to cry. And he's like, you do that for me? He's like, you don't even know me.
I know, but my father was the hard ass, and I kind of want to be as different from him as possible. So I really want to help you.
He like tumbles into you and like gives you a big hug and like buries his head in your chest and starts crying. And
Okay.
he's like, thank you so much. He's like, I swear, I'll quit. I promise. He's like, just help me get her out of here.
I will, and I gently pat his head, and then I kind of forcefully separate myself from him a little bit.
As you like push him back to arm's length, he like looks at you like, you know, teary eyed. He's like, there's one more thing. He's like, we gotta convince her that she needs to get out of here. She doesn't even know how bad she's got it.
Well, from what I can understand, that these robed figures are following her. We can convince her. I think we can convince her together.
Okay, if you think so. Her shift ends really soon, so let's wait for him to leave, and if you can help me get past him, I'll trust you forever. And then we'll go talk to Aurora, and you can help me convince her. Okay?
All right, I will. But Vlad cannot know that I was involved in this.
Good. Then it's mutual. He can't know either of us were involved. And he like he kind of smiles and reaches out to shake your hand. He's like, Gordo, by the way.
Gordo, Hikari, nice to meet you.
All right, great. And from there, I think we'll take a quick break. What time do we have right now?
9:41 Central.
Yeah, so we'll take a quick break, and we'll probably play for another 45 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on how things go. But we're going to take a 5, so everybody hang out, and we'll jump back into the action in just a moment. All right, thanks for waiting, everyone. We are back with the conclusion of this episode of Space Case. So where to jump next? I just want to see more of Guy in jail, really, more than anything. So, Guy, let's jump ahead. We can assume that you and what are their names? Scooter
and Maggie.
Have worked together now to get the bars broken between all 3 of your cages. You can move freely between the 3 of your cages. And I guess you're now trying all 3 together to work on a bar to get you out of the cages. So
yeah, definitely, that's our plan.
Just as you're starting to do that, and you're like all in the same cage, you hear like further down the walkway and around the corner, the one like head guard who seems like a real piece of shit. And he's like, "Okay, here I come. You might not be doing anything bad." As you like hear him kind of rounding the corner. And you're all you're all 3 in the same cage still. Keep in mind.
I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna be like, "All right, we gotta separate. Everyone, get back to your own cages." And try and like put the bar that we took down, kind of prop it up so it looks like it's still there.
All right, so they both like jump back to their cages, like squeeze through the bars, like start trying to prop the bar back up in place. And as he walks around, you hear him like knocking his little nightstick off of each of the the bars, like dragging it along the bars of the cages as he walks past. And as he starts to approach you, he's like, "All right, they're coming." And he like points at someone. He's like, "You back there, you too." And he gets up to your cage and he like stops and looks in at you for a long time. And he's like, "Definitely you, old man. You're gonna fight for your life." And he like picks his nose and then like walks down to like the next cage, and he keeps picking out a few more people like you, and he's hanging tags on all of your cages as he goes by, right? And
totally is. So as he leaves, would it be possible for me to discreetly take the pole that I broke and slip it into my jumpsuit?
I mean, it's taller than you.
Oh, it's taller than me.
I would assume it's just slightly taller than you.
All right, then never mind.
Why? What do you want? You want to like keep it as a weapon? You could still probably use it as a weapon, just not conceal it as well.
Okay.
So he's like, Diane's gonna come back and pick all you guys up in a minute. And he like hangs a tag, and then he leaves the room. And yeah, then like the room is empty except for the prisoners. And he, like he said, Danny's gonna come back in just a minute to take you down to the fight. Scooter's like, "What do we do?"
Did Scooter or Maggie get tagged?
No.
Okay.
Scooter's like, I never expected this. I don't know how to help you.
Guy's kind of looking around, and he's like, I think I know what I got to do, but you guys got to trust me.
What are you thinking, guy? I was thinking we could just attack the other guard's a little guy. He's gonna come back here by himself. We got 3 people with bars.
I need you guys to fake fight, so don't really hit each other, and get him all riled up and get him over to you. And guy kind of looks around, he gets really quiet, and he's like, and then we're gonna stab him to death.
Scooter like laughs for a second. He's like, yeah, fake fighting. That shouldn't be hard for me and Maggie. We fight all the time.
And guy's like, yeah, so we'll take the poles and then we'll stab him, but we can't tell anyone we did that.
Don't feel bad, guy. It's just survival.
Guy's kind of like anxious about it, and he's upset that he like came up with that, and he kind of like turns around and he like gives himself like a, sometimes we have bad thoughts and that's okay. You know, we're doing the right thing and it is survival. He's right, and that's okay. And then he kind of like jolts back up and he's like, all right, let's go.
Awesome. So just then the front like door of this big warehouse room where you were originally let in from opens up, and this other guard comes in, this skinny little guy Danny. He comes around the corner and he starts letting people out and like putting them like in hand and leg cuffs, like in a chain, you know what I mean? So you're all chained together. And you're the last one. He like comes around to the far side of the warehouse where you are, and like he starts to unlock his cage. And just then Scooter's like, you fucking bitch! And he like dives into the bars and starts shaking him. Then he starts reaching through and grabbing Maggie's hair and like slamming her head, like pulling it toward him. And she's just like wrestling, you know, doing the wrestling move, like where her hands are smacking the cage, so it's making a lot of noise. And Danny's like, fuck, fucking quit that, quit it. And let's make a roll to see if he notices. So that's Scooter. Scooter did a good job. Yeah, so he's like, quit doing that to her, and he like starts like unlocking Scooter's cage as fast as he can. And the padlock flies off, and he runs in and he like rips Scooter away from the cage, like probably rips some of her hair out as he pulls away and like slams him up against the cage, the back wall of the cage. And that's when Scooter's like, get him! Like screams it out. And the guy like turns and looks, and I'm assuming that's when you're popping through between the bars.
Yeah, guy kind of rushes up and he has the pole in one hand.
Oh no, you cut out. Hold on.
Oh, am I there?
Say it again. You have the pole in one hand. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, so he has the pole in one hand and he kind of grabs, the guy's name is Danny. He grabs him with his other hand and he kind of looks him dead in the eyes and he's like, Danny, just really quick, do you have a family?
And Danny's like, huh? And he just reaches for his taser instead of answering. Like he reaches for the gun on his belt.
Guy just stabs him right in the stomach.
All right, so Guy, why don't you make a stab roll for me? Or is it punch? Punch. You have a stab, right? Yeah, stab. And
there's a stab.
I'll let you do stab, dex, or strength. A 5. Okay, let me check what his armor class is. I think it's higher than a 5, but let me double check that. The nice thing about Stars Without Numbers, they have all the NPCs pre-programmed in for you, which is great. Let's see here. He has a hit point of... Oh, I gotta roll his HP real quick. 1 second. He has 1 hit point. Oh, his armor class is 10, so you do miss. You like stab, and he jumps out of the way just in time. And there, I think actually, I'm gonna have you roll initiative real fast. Actually, I don't know. You know what? Don't worry about initiative. I don't think we need to go that far. There's not enough people here. So he pulls out his little stun gun and tries to pop a shot off at you. And let me roll that. Let me see. Why is it whispering his rolls? Can you guys hear me still?
Yeah, you're good.
Just making sure. Why isn't it rolling his weapon? Tax 1. So he pulls out his little pistol and rolls at you. I'm just going to roll it freehand here. D20. What's your armor class, guy?
Remind me where that is. Oh, never mind. I found it. It's a 10.
Okay, so his little stun gun pistol hits you.
Crap.
It does non-lethal damage, but it's enough to knock you out. It does 2 damage to you. It's like stuns you for a split second. And then coming from behind, like screaming, is Maggie. With her, you know, just like waving this giant metal pole that's way too big for her to wield, and like screaming like a wild woman. She like swings, and like her, you know, bar clatters into the other cage bars, and like the vibrating of it like knocks it, like literally vibrates it out of her hand as she like yelps from the pain in her fingers, and you know, completely.
So she missed completely.
Completely misses him. Yeah, just like hits the cage wall right next to him, instead, and that'll be. I'm gonna say he probably has Scooter restrained right now. Scooter can fight back. Why not? He'll just attack it.
So, just really quick, with everyone else he let out and put on cuffs, are they just in the hallway?
Yeah, they're just like watching this fight happen from outside the cage.
Guy kind of looks at them as he's like on the ground, and he's like, "You get him, we get you out of here."
Like the guy in front's like, "We're all in feet cuffs. Look at us!" Like they can't move their feet more than like 4 inches apart. They'd have to like scurry in, and they're all connected. So he's like, I guess, and he starts like trying to scurry in to the cage, like leading this train of people, but they're moving pretty slowly. It gives Scooter enough time to grab the bar off the floor and like jam it into the guy's gut with like kind of a stabbing motion. And let's see how much he does there. So yeah, Scooter, like as they run in, like I feel like the guy in the very front of the line of prisoners all chained together like knocks into the guard's back, like with his handcuffed wrists, you know, and like knocks the guard forward, kind of onto Scooter, who's on the floor below him, and Scooter like pulls up Maggie's bar just in time and like puts his weight back on it as the guard just like falls forward on it, and it just like stabs up through his torso and out his back as he's just like, "Ugh!" And then blood, you know, starts just dripping out of his mouth onto Scooter's face, like from above, and his whole like face just kind of turns red, and he kind of strains for a second, and then his whole body just goes limp, and he like slides the rest of the way down the pole onto Scooter.
Guy's just kind of like, God, I hope he didn't have a family.
Scooter's like, everybody's got a family. Now get this
Don't-
dead fucker
don't
off
remind
me.
me.
Get him off! And Maggie's like trying to pull him off. And, you know, the guy who's like in the front of the line was like, that was incredible. You guys are heroes. And they all start like cheering for you. And just then,
Guy, yeah.
you hear the door open and you hear, what the hell is going on in here? From the other.
Guy definitely quickly like scuttles around the corpse to look for like keys to start getting everyone else free.
So he has he has some keys on his belt. Yeah.
Is it like 30 keys or is it like 3?
One of them is clearly a handcuff key. They're using pretty basic manacles. So.
All right. Guy just starts going for it. Like he grabs it and he takes it and he just starts going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, like as many as he can before the big guy gets there.
So as he comes storming around the corner, like you let the first like 2 people in this like kind of chain gang off of their chains, and the first guy is just like a huge fucking guy. He looks like he grew up on a farm on some agricultural planet somewhere, and like him and the other guy you let off, like just turn and look at like this big fat idiot guard who runs this little jail complex as he like peeks around the corner of like cage blocks like down the hall, and he like his eyes get big and he turns and just starts like like running away, and they take off like chasing him. You hear like the of like the electric door open, and then like the as it closes, and then you just hear him screaming on the other side as like they like mutilate him on the other side of the door. Yeah, so Scooter's like, man, I was about to do the southern voice for Scooter, excuse me. He's like, thank you so much, guy. You're a hero. You're a hero. And they all start being like, guy's our hero. Like, like all the prisoners chant for you. And he's like, guy, how can I ever repay you? I don't know what to do.
And guy's just kind of like, because Guy doesn't really know anything about Aurora or anything, right? I don't think I do.
No, not really.
I haven't been there for anything. Guy's just kind of like, let's get you guys out of here, and then we can talk.
All right, Scooter's like, all right, let's go. And then you guys take off. And as you leave out the main entrance of kind of the cell block unit, you walk past just like the smashed in head and face of the fat guard, like all plumped up against, the kind of metal walkway railing.
Guy is upset, but he searches the guard because he wants to find his lollipops and his communicator.
All right. He's got a cred stick on him.
Yeah, Guy just takes everything.
Okay, and the cred stick only has, I rolled a D500 and you only got 60. That's still not bad. It could have been 1. You get a chip with 60 creds on it. He also has one of those stun pistols. You can add a stun pistol to your inventory if you want. And you find all of your other belongings as well, like at his little check-in stand there. So you do find your compad, and whatever else you might have had too.
All right, Guy's definitely gonna start going down the line with lollipops.
He like pass ones out to everyone as they walk out the door past you. You do hear like further down the corridors around some of the corners, like guards getting into ruckuses and even a few shots fired, but they sound like the opposite direction of like where the casino is, and you and Scooter are able to kind of like safely start navigating the tunnels. But we'll jump from there and we'll jump back to you in a little bit. Congratulations, Guy, you've escaped prison. We should have set goals at the beginning too, because I imagine one of Guy's would have been to escape prison probably, but we can talk about that later. But I feel like you're definitely gonna get some XP for that guy for escaping from prison. Let's see, where to next? Hikari, I think. Let's jump back to you real quick. So you have Gordo, the young pink-haired AR visor wearing kind of drug dealer kid in your room, and he's admitted to you he's in love with this girl who works here named Aurora as a stripper, and a lot of people here seem to be very interested in Aurora and taking her away. So yeah, he wants you to help him sneak past this black-robed man who is perhaps waiting for you in the hallway. So as you're sitting in the room, he keeps telling you, like, if we leave, like, they're gonna be out there, they're gonna get us. I know it, I'm telling you. They're not gonna go away. So we're just gonna have to fight our way through.
Yeah, sure, we could fight, but don't kill anyone. I have these stun chucks that I use, and I pull them out and do a little twirl of them, and then say, I'll take care of them with these. I want you to try and distract them so that they will have their back turned towards me, and then I'll take them out.
Okay, but I just feel like I should warn you. Do you have any experience with psionic powers?
Yeah, we had a few pilots in at Ichigo Academy with psionics. I never fought any of them, but I know of their capabilities a little.
Well, I think it's a mistake not killing them because they'll kill us, and they have powers. Very strong powers.
Well, you see, I don't really think it's wise to spill blood in this place. Particularly because they haven't done anything wrong yet. If we have to kill them in self-defense, then so be it. But until then, we'll stick to the non-lethal. We can tie them up. We can put gags on their mouths so we can lessen any attempt at like, escape.
He like sighs. He's like, okay, if you say so. I don't even have a weapon. Do you have anything I can use just in case?
Let me see. I don't. I have I have my stun chucks and a laser pistol.
He goes over to like your kind of little built-in bathroom area, and there's like a bar coming out of the wall for like using the toilet or for like handicapped people. And he starts like trying to like break it off the wall. And after a few minutes, he like breaks it off, and he's just got like a metal pipe. He's like, "This is better than nothing, I guess."
Yeah.
As he and he kind of like walks towards the door, and he's like, "All right, are you ready?"
Yeah, I'm ready. Stay about 10 feet in front of me, and once you get their attention, I'll flank them. And I only saw the one guy, right, Charlie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's like, "All right, so I'm going first then."
Yeah, you go first, and yeah, I'll be watching you back.
Okay, so he like hits the little button to like slide your door open, and slides open. He like steps out onto the metal grated like hallway, and like looks left and looks right, and he's like, empty so far. And he like kind of sneaks down the way, to go back towards the casino. And he gets to the corner in the hallway, and he like peeks around the corner and like looks back down at you, and he's like, I don't see anything. And he waves you down toward him.
Okay, I'll have my stun chucks ready in my hand, and I will sneakily, very quietly follow him.
Okay, so just as you like close the gap to start following him, and he turns the corner, you know what I mean? Like kind of right, you're kind of on either side of the corner. Suddenly there's a like a big blue flash, and like, and the man literally like materializes, the man in the black robe, between the two of you, right in the corner of this hallway. It's almost like he like teleported right through the wall, like a little blue like bubble that's like kind of flat, floating in front of you. No matter what angle you look at it, it looks like it's flat, and it like pops and then like materializes as him right in front of you. And like,
oh shit,
he grabs the kid by the neck, like slams him against the wall, and like turns his gun and takes a shot at you.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and just roll initiative so you get to attack first? All right, so you get to go first as he pops out.
Okay.
He's like got the kid by the throat too, by the way, like still.
Okay. Seeing as that we're not going to be able to talk our way out of it, I will pull out my laser pistol since he's directly threatening me, and I'll try and pop a shot at him.
Okay. So go ahead and fire a shot with your laser pistol. Oh yeah, so a 19 is a hit. And 4 damage doesn't kill him, but it severely wounds him. So you blast him right in their like chest and ribcage through his robe. And he like, and then like you see blood start dripping out of his like pale mouth, you know what I mean? And you can just see like a big giant like burned bloody hole in his robe. You like blew a hole straight through him, and your pistol fire goes straight through him and like dissipates on the wall, like chunking a big divot in the middle of the hallway behind him.
And I'll close the gap and then wait for him to do something.
He like chokes and like squeezes off a shot at you as he's still got the kid up in his arm, in his hand, like choked up against the wall. He turns with his other hand and fires a pistol shot off at you. Now let's see if I can get this right. This time. Plasma pistol. Damage weapon, burst, no. Attacks, 1. I don't understand why this won't roll these attacks. I need to mess with the NPC sheet more. first. Attacks 1, AP 1. Oh, I see. What does a laser pistol do damage-wise? Let me look at some guns here real quick. Ranged weapons.
1d6 plus 1.
Is that what you have as well? Actually, he has a
Yeah.
plasma pistol. I don't know if that does more or less. Mag pistol, no. Yeah, it's probably the same as a laser. Or like the same technology, basically, just a different name. So 1d6, and it gets a +1 to the attack because it's laser. Alright, let's try this one more time. There we go. Ooh.
Yeah, it hits.
He fires on you. Describe where it hits you and how it injures you, because that hurts you pretty bad, yeah?
Yeah. I guess he'll shoot me like in the inside of my left thigh where that big artery is.
Sure, yeah, he like blasts through it, and probably a big chunk of your kind of leg muscle as well, like pierces a hole through it perfectly.
Yeah.
All right, it starts like bleeding profusely, like right away. Yeah, and so Gordo's just like choking, like trying to swing at him with his pole. Let's see if he hits. From like being, his choked out position. This guy must be impossibly strong because he's had Gordo held up this entire time, like by his throat. Yeah, Gordo like swings and the guy just like knocks it away with his laser pistol in his other hand and like turns and trains another shot on you. But it is your turn.
Okay. I will shoot at him again, aiming for his head.
All right.
$13 to hit.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, his armor class is a 12, so.
Okay. 3 damage.
All right, so you shoot him right through like the eye, and it just like literally splatters out the back of his head as blood like runs out of his nose, and he just like collapses to the ground face first, dropping Gordo in the process, and like collapses in a heap in front of you.
Okay. I will immediately put a lift stem, the last one I have, on my leg.
Okay.
Above the wound.
All right, do you have the... Actually, I think I have it written in here somewhere. Does this say what the lift stem does exactly? Yeah, if you can look it up, and then you can roll for it. I know it gives you some immediate hit points back, I believe, right?
Yeah.
The healing potion of stars with that number. All right. So you slap this patch on your leg. I'm assuming probably right over like the, where the blood is coming out. You like wipe it off as best you can and squeeze and like insert this patch. You can feel it immediately like shooting this dopamine and endorphins and all of this like just crazy, you feel like immediately like, ooh, like energetic. It almost makes you throw up. It's so intense at first. And you can feel it like immediately starting to repair the artery damage in your leg.
Okay. I'll go to Gordo and make sure he's okay, and then I'll start searching the body.
He like rubs his neck and he's like coughing, like I'm fine. What the fuck? I knew they could move things with their minds, but popping through fucking walls. That was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know they could teleport. The ones I dealt with mostly could just do precog. That was intense. I'm hurt pretty bad.
We better be careful. We need to get out of here quick. Let's get to Aurora as fast as we can. As you're like searching the body, he's like looking nervously around the corner to make sure more aren't coming. So also on his body, you find he probably has a cred stick as well. With 40 creds left on it. Just a single chip.
The exact amount I paid for the drugs.
Yep. And he also has a laser pistol. The black robes, and then around his neck he is wearing like a really fine silver chain with like a very peculiar looking like metal and stone pendant in a shape you've never seen before. It almost looks like a black swirling vortex, or like looking at an octopus from the bottom, kind of. And when you look at it, it looks like there's stars like floating in it. It's crazy. You've never seen anything quite like it before.
Okay, I'll pocket everything and I'll give the body a good kick, and I tell Gordo we should get out of here.
All right, Gordo follows along as you like exit back out onto the casino floor, and even at 3 or 2 in the morning, it's just madness. People are still there in full force, gambling and drinking away. You kind of like mingle into the crowd as you try and make your way, and from there we will cut over to Karate. So let's see. When we left off, Jupiter was heading downstairs. You're heading upstairs. So, yeah, you came in, you busted in, and not Boris. I was gonna call him Boris. Eddie was in the middle of his room trying to figure out what pair of pants to try on in the middle of his big condo. He turns around and busts in, and he's like, "What the hell? What the hell are you doing here?" He's like, "Octavia, is that you?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's me, motherfucker. Sit down." And she like points at the couch with her gun as like the two of you like move in, and she closes the door behind you. And he's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't. What? I can help. What do you need?" And she explains kind of what's going on, and that she needs a ship and all this stuff, so that you and her can get off the planet. And he kind of stops after she explains all of this, and he's like, "You came at the worst fucking possible time. Neither of you know." He's like, "Look inside that duffel bag there," and he points like at a duffel bag next to your foot, Karate, kind of by the front door.
Okay, I go over to it and open it up and look inside.
So yeah, you just have to like kind of lean down and like part the top open, and you peek in, and you can just see like explosives stacked on each other. He's got grenades, he's got plastic, he's got like some plasma charges and that kind of thing, just like literally stacked to the brim in a duffel bag by the door. And he's like, "I'm about to take this whole motherfucker out."
So I like kind of like back away and like from the duffel bag, like, "Oh, okay, that's a lot of explosives." So when were you gonna set these off?
Well, I mean, most of them are for Vlad. I'm not gonna do it in the casino. I don't want to kill everybody. I sent this guy I met. I sent him to take care of a little job with a little bit of the explosives. He's gonna distract them. And, well, I'm gonna blow up my whole apartment here. This is his whole fucking drug running operation. He's like, "I've been making Unicron for this asshole for weeks. I'm not doing it anymore. He's got my girl. I'm gonna blow this up. I'm gonna blow his office up. I'm gonna blow his fucking supply up. If you want to try and stop me, that's fine."
I don't know. I look at Octavia and I'm like, I don't know. What should we do? Should we try to help him? I feel like we're just gonna draw attention to ourselves by trying to blow this shit up any further.
She's like, I don't know. She like turns to him. She's like, "You realize you're a fucking idiot, right?" And she turns back to you. She's like, "But if we go along with him, he doesn't have a ship. How are we gonna get out of here? We're gonna be here when it fucking blows up. Then where do we go?"
Yeah, Eddie, what was the plan there? Like, how are you gonna escape?
Eddie just kind of like sniffles a little bit and looks up at both of you, and he's like, "I didn't really plan on making it out."
All right, well, we kind of have to make it out. So, do you know where there could be a ship around here?
He's like, "Well, you could always go to the valet downstairs. Just find some keys. There's plenty of startup protocols stashed there. A lot of guests leave them when they come in. You could take your pick if you wanted. I'll make the guards go away."
All right, well, we got to find a ship big enough for, I guess, to get everybody off of here that we want off, right?
I mean, how many people are you trying to take with you?
Well, we got like at least 6.
And he's like, I don't know. You just have to go see what's down there. Come on, we'll go right now. I'm on my way to Vlad's. And he like smiles and he like comes over to you and picks the duffel bag up off the floor. And he's like, "If you want to help, that's good too. We can stay and talk about planning a little more before I go and do this then. If not, I'm on my way."
Yeah, let's sit down and talk about this so that you don't blow it up with us on it. We could probably help you escape. Like, just give us, like, let's just work this out.
He's like, okay, fine. I'll hear you out. And he like goes back to his little computer desk and sits down. He's like, listen, all I want to do is make sure that motherfucker Vlad is dead. And I want to make sure Sal is either dead. It's out of here. But if that won't work out, I say kill them all. Sound good? He says. Can you guys hear me? No. 1 second, y'all. Sorry, I don't know how much you caught.
I don't think I caught like the last part of what you're saying, like last couple sentences.
He basically like sits down and he's like, I'll hear you out, you know. He's like, listen, I just want to make sure fucking Vlad dies. And I want to make sure Sal gets out of here. And he's like, and if that's not possible, then I want to make sure we all fucking die.
All right, well, let's plan for everybody getting out. Let's do that.
He's like, oh, an optimist. I'm all ears for your plan, Mrs. Optimist. And he like leans back and like kicks his feet up on the table.
All right, so how about we split up? You two can set the charges. I'll go find a ship, and I'll text everybody to meet me at the ship once I find it. That should give you enough time to set all the charges.
He's like, yeah, okay. Well, setting them here is going to be no problem. We can do that right now. And I did send someone to blow up the tram. When that happens, it'll be a nice excuse for you to get behind the desk. There should be no one watching it at that point. You can go look at what all the ships they got there.
Okay, so we got 2 explosions. We got one as a distraction, and then we got the second one that's gonna kill everybody, essentially.
No, he's like, I'm just trying to blow up my apartment here so they can't make any more fucking drugs. He's like, I'd like to blow up Vlad's office too, but I need to get in there first. That's harder.
All right. How would we get into his office?
Well, I was thinking about triggering the first explosion, then sneaking in there. I don't know. I haven't thought this out. I was just gonna run as fast as I can at his door and pull the trigger.
All right. You could probably just plant a charge outside of his door, like a couple charges outside. You wouldn't even have to like blow yourself up. I don't know if you thought of that.
But yeah, then that'll kill anyone who's in the casino. Unless we can get him to evacuate it. I doubt he'll do that. He's not going to miss out on the money. Not unless everybody dies.
All right, how about this? You go, I'll go and find a ship for us. You guys set some charges up, and we'll go from there.
All right, we'll get the apartment ready to go. Should we have my friend do away with the tram as a initial?
Let's hold off on that. We might need it. We might need it as a different distraction, because this might not be the most difficult part, is getting the ship.
All right. Well, we'll be here setting things up. Me and Octavia can take care of this, right? And he like looks over at her and she's like, yeah, we got this. Go ahead. I'll be on radio.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna try to find us a ship then. So I leave the room and head back to the elevator.
All right. She's like, you know, as you're leaving, she's like, let us know as soon as you find something so we can get the fuck out of here. I don't like hanging out with all these explosives, especially with him. And he like just gives you like a crazy smile as he's like pulling shit out of this duffel bag. Yeah, and you disappear and make your way back down the elevator.
Okay.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Okay. So let's jump back to Jupiter. Are you still alive, Jupiter?
Oh, I guess one of us has to text Jupiter not to blow up the tram.
Well, he was waiting for a signal, I think, from Eddie anyway. Jupiter. But you could tell him to not try, or not do the initials. Jake, are you sleepy?
Sorry, what's up?
We're going to jump back to Jupiter real quick, and we'll probably end the stream.
Sorry.
That's all right. So Eddie sent you away, tasked you with getting a vac suit so you could go into space and sabotage the trams to their metamilk mine, where they get all the stuff to make these drugs with. So yeah, you head down, you hit the lobby in this big desert biosphere. Where does Jupiter go first from there?
Jupiter is going to turn to the nearest guard to him
Mm-hmm.
and say, and grab him by the shoulders, like with his giant hands, just encase this man in his fingers, and say, "Have you seen my grandpa?"
The guy's like, huh? Why are you... Hands off me, sir, please. Who's your grandpa?
He's an older man. He has a heart issue.
I mean, okay. Why do I need to know that?
Has anybody been sick?
They did send some guy to the infirmary for his heart, I think. Hold on. And he, like, takes a step away from you and, like, calls in on his compad to someone real quick. And, like, has a quick conversation. And he comes back. And he's like, yeah, seems like your grandpa escaped. No one's seen him. The nurse said he just disappeared.
From the infirmary, and I'm still holding this man by his shoulders.
Yeah, and he's, like, pushing on you. He's like, sir, I need you to let go now.
And I'm going to squeeze tighter and say, no, I need to see my grandpa now. Take me to the infirmary. And I'm going to squeeze a little bit tighter.
You can make a check to try and intimidate him if you would like. I'm going to say exert charisma. Or I'm giving you weird ones. Exert charisma or talk strength. Oh man, this isn't gonna work out well for you. A 5. He like pulls his stun pistol from his belt. He's like, "Sir, I need you to let go of me right now!" Like starts barking at you, getting all coppy with you, you know. Copping it
I'm
up.
going to let go of him, but like in a forceful manner that like kind of throws him back on his ass.
He like stumbles and almost falls backward and like catches himself on the wall. And he's like, "Are you trying to go to jail?" He's like, "You stay right the fuck here." And he like pulls out his phone again. He's like, "I need some backup over here." And he like hangs it up, never taking his stun gun off of you with the other hand.
I am going to like put on my best sad face and with tears in my eyes, I just want to see my grandpa. And like just like as much attention as possible, as loud as possible, just oh, I just want to see my grandpa. He's sick in the infirmary.
Okay.
Take me to my grandpa.
Do a performance charisma check, I think. And I'm going to have him roll against you for this. You got a 7, so that should be a success. Yeah. You tied with him, so yeah. He'll be like, he like looks around for a minute. He's like, okay, just stop your crying. Just stop your fucking crying. And he like kind of steps closer to you now that you have maybe disarmed him a little bit with your crying. He's like, "Are you all right, big guy?"
My...
Perfect.
Yeah, that was perfect. That's what it sounds like.
So you tell him you're okay?
Yep. I'm sorry. I'm so worried. He has a heart problem. I know he's in the infirmary. I just want to go see him so bad.
He's like, I don't know what you want me to do. I called down there. They said he was gone.
Take me to the infirmary, please. I know he's there.
Okay, if I take you there, will you stop crying and leave me alone?
Yes. Please.
All right, so he's like, all right, follow me. He's like, we got to take the big elevator down. And he takes you to the big industrial elevator back into the casino. And you know, he takes you back through, you weave through this, you know, the crowds of this raging casino, the loud club music beating in your ears, and you're like fake crying this whole way through all this. He leads you through the VIP room, past the strippers and kind of the darkened back room, and he like pulls his little fob and opens up the secure personnel only area door, kind of in the back there. And yeah,
I just like to imagine that like half the people I walk by kind of hello,
like a pitiful little kid, like
yeah.
perfect. Yeah, and he like leads you, you know, down some metal staircases and hallways, and back around some corners. As like you can tell, you're like going deeper into the carved out, you know, bowels of this asteroid. And finally, he leads you to a little med bay room with like a med bay symbol on the door and a little window on the door. He like looks through the window and he turns back. He's like, "He's not in there. I fucking told you." And he like hits the button and it slides open. Just then, you hear someone walking from the other side of the hallway because you've like went through like a couple T's, and you turn around and you see none other than Guy Flanell leading Scooter and Maggie, and they just like stop frozen as the guard's like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing? Get back in!"
So it's just so before too much happens, like I'm behind the guard or like with the guard, and then like they're kind of approaching us.
Yeah, right.
I want to like what I'm envisioning. Jupiter's reaction immediately would be when seeing Guy over there, like, would be grab the guard by his head and just slam it into a wall as hard as he can, as fast as he can.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Like, just like, boom.
Why don't you do a punch strength for me? Punch strength roll.
That's amazing. I love that.
You rolled a 12. Yeah, so you crush his head between your hand and the stone wall. Like, it literally flattens somewhat. As Guy, you just see blood like roll out of his eyes and nose when like this look of surprise crosses his face, and then like his face turns into nothingness except for just blood running down it, and he drops to the ground in a heap. And Scooter's like, "Holy fuck!" from behind Guy.
Guy's kind of like, it happens.
Who is? You know this guy?
Come here,
I'm
big
gonna
guy.
say, "Hi, Guy."
Yeah, and Guy kind of like goes to hug Jupiter. Like he's reaching out, almost doing that like long running through like a field at each other, like going for the hug.
All right. Scooter's like, "All right, great. We're all back together. Now, what do we do next?"
I don't know who you guys are, but I need to get a suit, and I'm gonna grab the card off of the now just, you know, destroyed guard and go into the med center and grab the air vac suit.
Okay, yeah, you go to the closet in the back and you find like a vac suit and a bunch of other things, like some janitor supplies and things like that. There are 2 vac suits in there, actually. And like when you do that, Scooter's like, "Oh, I'm Scooter," and then the woman's like, "I'm Maggie," like waves at you. Yeah, and you find 2 vac suits in the closet. And Guy, you see him doing this. Do you say anything?
No, I'm just kind of like, "You know what you're doing, bud," and I kind of like give him a thumbs up.
All right, what do you?
Guy's just happy to like.
I want to grab Guy by the shoulders after I have the. Hold on a second. Sorry.
No worries. That's all right. Take your time.
Sorry. I want to like not like hard, but like make sure it's firm and he knows that I'm staring him in the eyes and that it's intent. Guy by the shoulders and say, "We need to get out of here now. I might be blowing something up soon."
And Guy kind of is like, "All right, well, let's make sure that we saved all my new friends."
I don't care. Let's go.
Scooter's like, "I can help."
I'm going to
Okay.
consider that. Keep that in my back pocket. And then since I've got, you know, I'm going to grab both air vac suits, not just one, but both.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I've got the card, we're going to head back towards the VIP area, I guess. Towards the big elevator.
Yeah, so you like let out of the security personnel door back into the casino proper, and from there you start heading towards the front where you can like carry out your plan. And I think that's where we'll end our session tonight. And we'll pick up next time as Jupiter and possibly Guy and Scooter try and sabotage a mining tram on the asteroid surface. And Karate tries to steal a spaceship from the valet. And Hikari tries to help Gordo rescue his princess from psionic cultists. So we have a lot of cool stuff going on next session. Sounds great. And we'll try and be back next Sunday. It may not be until a week from Sunday. And yeah, this will be up as a podcast probably this Wednesday. So make sure you check that out. Definitely give us a follow on the SoundCloud. And I guess that command doesn't work. And all the socials. And thanks so much for tuning in. Real quick, let's go around and talk about all of our lovely cast members here. Sorry, I can't think. Karate Junction is played by the one and only Rara Imler. Rara,
Hello.
tell people just real quick where they can find you on the internet and maybe where else they can find you in Atlanta.
So you can find me on Twitter at IslandGoth or Instagram, Rara from Guam. And I have not too many Atlanta shows coming up. I will be in Austin at the end of the month for Altercation Comedy Fest. I'm really excited about that. So if you're in Austin, come and check that out.
Awesome. Sounds great. Thanks so much, Rara. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Hikari Chinsoku is played by our good friend Falseries. Falseries, where can people find more of you on the interwebs?
Yeah, you can find me in Charlie's Discord, where I usually just have a midnight casual section where I come home from work and we just shoot the shit and talk about anything and everything, our feelings and stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, Ilvermorny has been canceled due to my school schedule, so that's no longer going on. But you can find me on Instagram, Twitter at Falseries for everything.
We'll get another show with Dungeon Master Falseries going soon enough too. As soon as we can make schedules work and so on, whether it be Ilvermorny or something else, you'll still see his shining face, beaming face. Cool. And yeah, the last one was Instagram at Falseries, right?
Yeah. Twitter and Instagram at Falseries.
All right. Guy Flannel is played by Ruben. Ruben, where can we find you? Oh, can't hear you for some reason.
It's because I forgot about Push to Talk.
All right.
I do a podcast with my mom. It's called Kid Tested, Mother Approved. It's a weekly podcast where we pick a theme or theme is given us, and then we pick a movie for each other to watch based on that theme. This week's an exciting one, or this month is an exciting one because we're doing remakes. So we're watching the original, watching the remake. We're talking about it. We're doing Ghostbusters this week, which will be fun.
Nice.
And interesting because, yeah.
I'm interested to see what your mom thinks about the new one.
Yeah, she watched that one before. I mean, she's seen the original 1,000 times.
Sure.
The new one exists. That's kind of both of our opinions right now.
All right. Well, we'll have to listen to find out more. Thanks so much, Ruben. And they can find you on SoundCloud, iTunes.
Yeah, we're on everything except Spotify. That's what I tell people in the real world.
Perfect. Yeah, you can find that KTMA, Kid Tested Mother Approved. And last but not least, we have Jupiter Dangle, played by Easy Sailor. Jake, what are you promoting this week?
So I have a lot to talk about this week. I have an Etsy page, etsy.com/shop/bodega catco.
Yep.
I have 2 Twitch channels that I personally host, that I am personally the streamer of. One is MomoDD, twitch.tv/MomoDD. And then I also personally host twitch.tv/Chopshop Network. You should probably check that one out. That's a good one to check out.
All right. Yeah. So check out all of those awesome things that Jake does. So you have more?
I also have a Twitter that I want to promote. Twitter.com/MediaCorp.
MediaCorp. Yeah.
Core. Yeah.
But it's not core. It's short for corporation.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. CORPS. MEATYS. Whatever. Yeah. MediaCorp.
All right. Thanks so much. Anything else? That was it, right? That was your whole.
Yeah. I'll come up with something better next week. Also, I host a podcast with my mom.
All right, we'll see you guys next week here on Space Case. Make sure you do follow us on if you're whatever you're listening to this on. Give us that subscribe, that like, that follow. It really does help the Chopshop Network grow, and all of our other wonderful shows that you can catch right here, like Normal Illinois. It's our new Monster of the Week. It's kind of a monster hunting RPG podcast. So yeah, check it all out. Thanks so much again, and we'll see you guys next time. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Chop shop.